Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for round one of the ECAC Titan Division playoffs. My name is Gigabyte. I might be an unfamiliar face to some of you loyalists over here at ECAC, but I have been around the block with casting, and I am joined today by my wonderful co-caster, a regular here at ECAC, Overcast. How are you doing on this fine day, Mega Man?
So far, I've been doing great. Just finished doing everything that I had to do for the day, and now I'm ready to watch Concord Esports versus Ball State Black go at it tonight for the first round of playoffs that we have set for tonight. So, for anybody who is not familiar with ECAC playoffs, it's still going to be a best of 7, just like how all of our regular matches were played, except this is going to be a single bracket elimination. So the marbles are always on the line during every single series.
Indeed, and they are all grueling series, like you just said, best of 7 all the way through this single elimination bracket, and it is everything on the line. You have to play at peak. Every single shot, every single save must be on point. And you just said it, Concord Esports versus Ball State Black. They're going to go up against the winners of Fisher Rocket League versus Shawnee State Bears. They are playing right now as well. These two teams, however, Concord and Ball State, they have been all over the place in terms of tournaments at the collegiate level in Rocket League. And these two teams are no slouches. We can expect to see a lot of high-flying plays, a lot of aggression, hopefully early on from Ball State as well, as that is one thing that they're particularly known for in the collegiate Rocket League scene. It's going to be a challenge for Concord to stand up to that.
I agree. So just going based off of that, we still have a lot that we're going to be seeing here today with both of these teams being CRL type Titans. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go against each other, because correct me if I'm wrong, have they ever played before in ECAC? I think they have, Damien.
You would know significantly better than that, Overcast. I'm not 100% sure if they have. I have seen Ball State before. I have in fact casted for their matches over at the Collegiate Carball Association. And I've seen a little bit of Concord Esports as well. I know that they have a tendency to be a bit more focused on a bit of a steady game plan, as well as some team-focused efforts. Ball State has a tendency to go really all out. They have a tendency to, excuse the pun, really ball out on their technical stuff. So I'm not sure if they've ever matched up here in ECAC, though.
I don't. Oh, okay. So this season they're in 2 different groups, but I know I've casted Concord before, and I know it's just like what Keaton was saying. They have a very steady play style, but they're very consistent. They're very consistent with their passing plays. They're very consistent with their teamwork. So I'm really hoping to see that come back out today against Ball State, and especially if they remain consistent with their aggression, I think they can get it. That's the whole key. It's just keep your consistency. That's it.
Yep, they've got to remain consistent. We have everybody in the lobby. So, Overcast, before we get this going, let's get a prediction from you.
Would you like a prediction for the first game, or would you like a prediction for the whole series?
The whole series.
2. All right, for the whole series, I'm gonna have to go with my boys at Concord. I'm doing a 4-2.
You're gonna say 4-2 for Concord.
Yep.
That's a bold prediction. I'm gonna say Ball State 4-3. That's how I'm gonna roll this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to that game 7, play a game on Champions Field. I am ready. I don't know about you, Overcast. I think our production can send these guys into lobby, and I want to see these guys duke it out on the field, and we are ready to go here. They are taking it down. Oh, and I was actually just informed by Too Fast, the coach over at Ball State, that they have recently been competing in CRL Opens and been taking down a lot of the pros out there, Garrett G as well, in 2s recently. So that's a good sign for Ball State. Let's get this underway. Game 1 here of the playoffs.
already beginning with Concord. They're going to be instantly trying to take their first shot with a double tap by Helix, but just getting saved right off the bat. Simus also going to be trying to take up his own shot, but Jesse's going to try and control this out to mid with Jinwoo trying to take his own shot top right corner, but going to get saved right onto the bar. Also, I do have the Crossbar Queen title attached, so if we hear any pings off of the bars this match, I'm gonna be keeping track, because I just, ever since I got that, I found it to be one of the funniest things, but some of the coolest things ever. Now, Crispy is gonna be trying to take this up into mid. He's gonna lose control, but Simus is gonna try and get this back out. Variety trying to put this back onto target. Jesse trying to put it back over. Simus is gonna try and retake this back out into mid, trying to get this around Ball State, but right now they're just going to try and keep this controlled into their corner, and now it looks like Ball State is going to be getting back on the offensive, trying to take something out, and they're going to be getting their first goal by Jinwoo. First minute of the game, and Ball State's already taking it.
This was a really sketchy situation for Simus the whole time. No matter when he decided to challenge on that one, it was not going to be the right decision. Might have been able to challenge out a little bit sooner, but still, we have our first goal of the series for Ball State Black, and they are already on the offense again. Variety going to lob a shot in, not able to maintain control of it, and that's just going to roll back harmlessly into their zone. Alter going to look for an over the top, not going to be able to dunk it in. Simus once again goes for the save. And what I'm noticing here is that Concord is going for a little bit more of a very aggressive defensive rotation, as they have two people usually committing to every ball that comes to goal.
I believe this is part of them maybe knowing of how Ball State is playing, especially right now with Ball State already getting their second goal by Jinwoo, and them already also having a total of, was it 6 shots already? So they're already extremely aggressive, and they know that Ball State is putting on good shots, powerful shots onto the net, or at least stuff that can confuse one person. So it's good that Concord is starting to put multiple people to try and defend, but at the same time, this could come back to bite you in the ass, because if one person misses and the other person fails to read,
nice dunk off the back,
where he doesn't miss, he just puts it right in with a beautiful double right over Variety, and just slotting this in. I was hoping for a no bounce, but we'll take it.
Yeah, it's fine. That was a really critical goal for Concord to get there. That keeps them within range and doesn't let Ball State get too far out in front. Oh, that's a big miss from Crispy. Ball's in danger, rolling right in front of Red. Variety can't put it in. Teammate comes in, gets the demo instead. Now a retaliation on the other side by Concord. They're not able to put it down. Crispy's going to try for the redirect, but it's blocked out by Variety. No one is able to put a score in. Once again on the rebound, Concord trying to get some momentum moving for them. A drop down by Crispy. That's a double commit, and now a breakaway back on the other side by Ball State.
Already Helix is going to have to try and make a one-man army save, but Jesse is going to be scoring this right through him. Trying to steal his boost, at least passing this out into mid, and Jesse just coming in straight with the disco ball, setting this up for Ball State to 3 and Concord to 1. We're now already halfway through this game, and already 4 goals have been made so far. Ball State is 100% living up to their reputation of being an extremely aggressive team, but we still have plenty of game left and plenty more other games to go with this series. But already, I'm loving the performance that's already going.
I've got to say, though, Concord, they're doubling a lot on both sides of the ball, and they're really having a hard time maintaining that consistent pressure on either side as a result. And that last goal was actually a result of a double commit on offense, and then they left one man back who just could not fight against what you saw from Ball State going the other direction. Considering they were able to commit all 3 on offense, they're recognizing that no matter what, they'd have a chance to get back on the other side. So that's going to be something that Concord's going to have to improve on in future games. Ball State is able and ready to punish those mistakes.
100%, especially with Ball State getting their
flick.
4th freaking goal by Jinwoo. Getting a beautiful flick from midfield. Jesse going in to hunt down for a demo, and then Jinwoo just flicking it right behind Crispy, getting a beautiful shot right into the goal. But it's like what I was saying, with Ball State, they're making really good, powerful solo plays where it's like they're saying screw two defenders, they'll get it around both of them. And even if they can't, there's another person already there who's just as capable, just waiting to put out their shot. But hey, I still gotta back my boys at Concord. I still think they can come through. This might be one of the fluke games that I was saying for the 4-2, but I think they got it. I think they got it.
This game's starting to look like it might be a little bit out of reach for Concord, so they're gonna have to make adjustments. But one of their big adjustments, like I said, is gonna have to be controlling those double commits. Ball State is you talked about how they're only committing 1 to offense because they don't need to. They're over committing real hard by Concord. Ball State doesn't have to commit any more than 1 to offense. They can sit 2 back at the midfield and wait for that double commit to happen. And then it's basically an open net for anyone at their skill level.
Exactly. And that's something that you really got to respect, that it's the time and skill that these players have put in to get to the point where they can do that type of play. Because I mean, just looking here,
yeah, that was a triple commit.
There's a little doink. But yeah, that was one hell of a triple commit. Crispy is all the way up in the front, and then 2 people are going up. It doesn't give Crispy enough to get back in time and make a save. So Jesse is just going to notice the open net and just throw it right in. So yeah, it's like, as you were saying, they've got to this point where, yeah, they don't have to commit more than 1 person because they know they'll be fine. And if they have to commit more than 1 person, it either means that there's a triple commit incoming, or they're going to make a play out of
it. Ooh, going to get 1 for the road here is Concord. But, I mean, that triple commit on that last one, I can't blame them too much for it, considering that they were trying to get something before the time got too low to hopefully mount a comeback. But Ball State looking very, very in control of themselves and in control of this series so far. They're going to take game number 1. They're going to go up to the lead in the series. Jinwoo, a massive player on offense for that entire game. 3 goals from Jinwoo. Had saves on the back end, had shots. He was getting a lot of the offensive pressure in and of himself. But like I said, drawing out that double commit from Concord on the defensive side of the ball.
We also have to look at Concord as well. Looking at Crispy with 8 shots. 8 shots, 2 saves. That's bringing it, to 16 shots for Concord as a whole. And then 12 shots for Ball State. So both teams are shooting. It's just Ball State's coming in with 13 saves. It's not only are they really doing well on offense, they're getting their saves that they need. They only let 2 through out of their 16, which honestly, that's extremely impressive for me.
Yeah.
And we also got to look at Simus. I think it's Simus. Simus, he was also getting all the goals for Concord as well, but he was also putting in a lot of shots and a fair amount of saves as well. So already we can see our 2 juggernauts for each team. So let's see how they do for game number 2.
And we know who the All-Stars are on both sides. Game number 2 underway here. And the opening kickoff goes the way of Concord. They might get a breakaway here. Not quite, as Variety comes in for the save. Hopefully Concord is able to be a little bit more patient on these good scoring opportunities, and they can provide a lot of offensive pressure, because that is going to be their key here. We know Ball State is aggressive, right? That's how they've played for basically forever. So Concord is going to have to keep sustained pressure on them, keep ball control. They can't let it go like they were in game number 1. Otherwise, it's going to get punished all day long.
100%, and especially with Concord now starting to realize, because I always say game number 1 is the game that you figure out your opponent. You learn what they do, you learn how they play, and then you take it into game 2. And I think game 2 is usually the most important game, because you've already seen them in action. You've learned what you need to know. Now you have to take your tactics and apply it to the next game. And already Concord, I mean, for the last game, they scored a goal within the first minute of the game. but now we're seeing a lot more airplay up in the midfield. So Concord is starting to realize, okay, these guys, they attack solo, they are very aggressive. Let's see what we can change that'll allow us to beat them. And already with Simus, Helix, and Crispy, they're banging this out into the corner, and they had a few shooting opportunities. They just didn't take them, in my opinion. But right now, we might see another one coming in by Simus. Oh, just a pair miss.
Honestly, the shooting opportunities haven't even been that, thick on the ground for Concord. What I've been very impressed by so far is that Concord has had possession of this ball for nearly the entire first 2 minutes, and that bump is going to secure the goal for Simus. He comes flying in. Crispy sets it up and moves everyone out of the way himself. Variety, there is no mercy for him. Simus is going to come up and put it in the back of the net. First goal in after just about 2 minutes into this game, too. Double commits on the kickoff, though. Variety comes up and takes it from Ball State. Good flick over the top. Is it going to be a dunk? No! Jesse's not able to put it down. Concord now, this is the first time they've really been threatened this entire game so far. They've had control of the ball for them the majority of the early part of this game.
This is also the first time that Concord is now actually in the lead, because last game, Ball State was always in the lead no matter what. Now Concord is actually the ones up. So right now they just need to work to get an insurance goal or two, and then they can just sit tight and just hold out for Ball State. Well, Helix is attempting to get that right now, but you just cannot get that around Variety. Jin Woo losing control with no boost. Crispy gonna try and take this up. Can he get it around? He can, but he can't.
Oh, nice.
Helix is there to help him. Standing in the top left corner, securing insurance goal for Concord, now making this 2-0. We're now also at the halfway point of this game, so let's see if Ball State can put a little bit more pressure onto Concord, or is this going to be a Concord dominant game?
Well, I said it at the beginning, Concord has a tendency to be more on the team play side, and that last one was a perfect example. They baited everyone out of net from Ball State, and now they're playing defense pretty hard. Variety is able to put it in the right corner, though. After a double commit on defense from Concord, some of those old habits coming back, but they were in panic mode there. I can't really blame them too much for it.
Neither can I. Right there, it was just shot after shot after shot, and all of them were in very weird, good angles, so it was bound for something to get in anyway. But still, Concord is still leading by 1. They just need to work to get their insurance goal back, or just hold off onto this lead. If they do lose one more goal to Ball State, all is good in the neighborhood, but they are going to have to work a little harder just for endgame to hopefully win this match.
That was
so
a
right now,
triple commit from Ball State. They're just able to get it away. Sorry, Concord they had a really good shooting opportunity there. Unfortunately, no one was there to recover it.
To capitalize on it,
yeah. A little bit too patient now, guys. Let's bring it back in a little bit.
No, exactly. If we can bring back that aggression for the first 2 goals, we might be able to see another one. Crispy going to be there, able to take that save. That was a very good shot by Variety. Jesse and Helix are going to be trying to fight for this up into the corner. Variety he still has enough boost to get this around. Crispy is going to get a massive bang out into mid. Jinwoo, great control onto the ball, trying to get a Fripley set. Doesn't really get it over anybody, but Simus, no boost, trying to pass this over to Helix. Helix going up, he gets the double, and he goes in, securing the Concord's 3rd goal for the game so far.
That's a beautiful team play off the backboard, sent over to Helix for the goal. They bait out 2 attackers, 2 defenders from Ball State, and that's how they get around. This team play from Concord is looking beautiful. I do like to see it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and now they've kind of gotten those first game jitters out. It looks like they're not really double committing on everything anymore. The communication appears to have gotten a lot better, so hopefully a little bit better for Concord from here out.
But something I have been noticing, Concord has been taking a lot of double variety.
Speaking of team plays. Oh, look at this pass. Look at this pass from Jin Woo. That is beautiful. Variety was just waiting there.
Pass. That's a really powerful pass. I got to give that to him.
Right, he could have just
But
dropped it. He could have just dropped his controller. Jinwoo just put it right on his hood. No need to do anything.
all he had to do was just flip. That's it. And that's pretty much what happened. But with going back to what I was saying with Concord, they've been doing a lot of double tap attempts while Ball State have been kind of keeping it a little bit more simple with the passing plays and just the solo plays as well.
There we
But
go.
it
That's
doesn't
the
matter
dagger.
because Crispy is going to get an absolute dagger into the bottom right, pretty much securing this for Concord, getting this right around one of the
9
defenders.
seconds. 9 seconds, 2 goals. It's possible, but you're gonna need a little bit of a miracle to pull it off. So it looks like maybe we're gonna be moving into a 1-1 scenario here. Jesse has something to say about that, though. He heard me. Well controlled by Simus on the backboard. He's just gonna carry this one out, and that's gonna be it for game number 2. We go 1-1 in this series.
Already Concord bringing out such a better performance for this game. The team play is finally coming back out. Their consistency is coming out. And now just looking at the board, not as many goals were scored for this one, but Concord 12 shots versus Ball State's 7. This
Yeah.
significantly dropped from the first one with like 16 and 12 shots or whatever it was. Now we're going down a bit. But again, this is what I was saying, that Concord has finally learned Ball State. They learned how they're working, and now they're just moving around it.
Yeah, shots obviously matter here, but I think the bigger story of that game is that the efficiency of those shots and the quality of those attempts are just significantly better on the Concord side. They actually managed to keep control of the ball in the offensive zone for I think the first entire or nearly entire 2 minutes of the game. So they were actually able to keep Ball State trapped back there, low on boost. They were boost stealing adequately. They were taking everything that they could. Finally, they were able to get a push through on that early possession. But that's what Concord needs to continue to do. They need to keep Ball State out of their defensive half and make sure that they retain control of it. So the double commits can't happen. Oh my goodness, what an air dribble by Crispy! Just barely off the bar, not able to get it done. But now a breakaway by Jinwoo. He's not able to get it done either. A great block by Simus, back the other way from Crispy, and that's an open net goal. Crispy capitalizes on the early chaos of Game 3 to send Concord to a 1-0 lead.
That was the most beautiful spiral of events that I've ever seen for this entire series so far, where it's just a beautiful shot attempt into another shot attempt retaliating from Ball State just for Crispy to get a nice open net right into Ball State, already securing you within the first 30 seconds. What a great read by Variety up there. But just in the first 30 seconds, that team play just worked out so well, and now Concord's already got their first goal. Helix getting a nice little Goomba stomp onto Variety. Simon's trying to take this around, getting his reset, but not exactly going to be able to do much with it without boost. Crispy going to be out in mid waiting for it. Helix is going to have to go up, beating the crap out of Jesse out of that one. Will he be able to get a 50? No, he will not. Crispy and Jesse are going to have to fight for this in the back corner. Helix now is going to be in an awkward position, watching Jinwoo take the shot, but he's got Crispy there to help him out. Helix trying to get this around back up towards the net, but Simus is going to be there receiving a passing play, but they just couldn't capitalize on it. Concord losing out on their boost. Jinwoo going to have to try and take this up by himself, getting a great 50, letting Variety take over with Jesse. But now Helix, he might be able to take a double attempt, but just too sharp of an angle.
Yeah, so what I'm also seeing here is on offense, Ball State is starting to go for a lot more physical aggression, looking for more bumps, more demos, trying to clear the net open. Now that Concord has those solid rotations on the defensive side, they're trying to find any leverage they can, and if that means making a hole, they're going to make the hole and make it wide. That's a double commit, though. They're going to have to really capitalize on this one coming in. Everyone's in the box, but no one is able to actually push the ball in. Jinwoo going to go for the ceiling shot, baits out one attack, but is not able to get the ball through. Crispy pushes this one back out of the danger zone. A great little pass play up the field. Variety is able to control it off their own backboard, though. And we just have a lot of bouncing back and forth in the middle here. No one really managed to gain control of it yet.
Already, just that play in the corner, that was just really funny to watch because it was constant 50 after 50 after 50. But it doesn't matter because
Saved by
Variety's gonna take
Simus.
a beautiful shot, but getting saved by Simus. Jinwoo trying to get this ball somewhere, but Jesse is gonna come in with a suicide bomb attempt, getting that out. And Simus trying to clear this, but Crispy, he's going to be there ready to back him up. Crispy with 0 boost. He might be able to get it over 1, but Helix just also not having boost, not going to be able to take the shot. Simus looking for a double attempt with Helix, but Variety is just going to be stealing this away from Concord. And he's going to try and take a shot, but nice.
Oh, there we go.
Variety taking a shot, bouncing it off one of the defenders, and just easily scoring this right in.
Yeah, he stuffs everyone up on the near post and just follows the ball through off of the failed 50. No way, nothing to do for Concord in the defensive zone. Ball State ties it up with just under 2 minutes remaining. Variety takes a lob shot over, but Crispy is able to handle it easily. Simus off the backboard. Variety sees it come in, is able to deflect it away. Helix is back in midfield, but he loses the 50 to Jesse, who's following this up, trying to get the bump on Crispy. Can't get it. Back across from Jinwoo. Crispy's able to redirect it again. Crispy playing the man on defense now. The goalie, what a block by Helix. It's all out scramble on the Concord side as they're finally able to get this ball out of danger. Ball State had 3 or 4 really good shot attempts there within about 10 seconds. And I'm surprised they weren't able to score. Great defensive stand by Concord.
Well, Concord did also double commit on a couple of those harder shots, but still, that was actually amazing how Ball State didn't score, especially when most of their players were backwards. They were in very awkward positions, but yet they were still making these saves like it's nothing. Now, Crispy is going to try and take this up. He's getting a beautiful air dribble, trying to get it with Helix, but Helix is going to get 50
Sent the third.
out by Jinwoo. Simus trying to get this out into mid. Yes, he will, but is Crispy going to be quick enough? Not exactly going to get 50 out into the mid. Crispy is trying to take this around Variety. He's going to pass it out. Simus taking too hard of a shot, hitting it right off and getting a little doink off to the crossbar. Jesse getting a little confused right there. He wanted to take the shot opportunity with the open net, but he just didn't have the boost for it. Simus Goomba stomping somebody, trying to get this up, but he's going to get beat by Variety. Jinwoo, Helix, both trying to fight over this ball, but nobody can get it. This is going to be a 50, but Variety is going to get demoed. Variety did the demo, my fault. And now we're going to be going into the first OT for the series. Maybe.
Concord. Oh, there we go. The ball does drop. I thought it might hit the ground just before, but no, we move into our first overtime of the series. Simus, what a huge bump, and it ends quickly. A massive bump by Simus is going to clear the road for Crispy off of a beautiful double commit on the kickoff. And there it is. 1, 2, 3. Concord takes the 2-1 lead in this series. And like I said, the whole key to their game plan so far when they have been successful has been making sure that they retain control of the ball. Crispy doing all of the offense there too. He was doing everything. He had saves, shots. He had both the goals for Concord. Ball State significantly more spread out, but Jesse kind of caught the odd man out there for Ball State.
No, 100%, but especially just clearing Jinwoo out of there, making him irrelevant to save that. And then Concord just realizing the opportunity and easily just putting it right in. Already, my prediction, we're getting there. We're working on it. But already now Concord is going to be taking the lead into the series 2-1, especially with a beautiful game from that. It especially being a lower scoring game and a lower point game as well. But hey, we still got at least another 2 games to go. So we're going to see how this comes out. But again, my prediction of Concord's 4-2 for Ball State. Fingers and toes crossed for this one. So we're going to see how this goes.
Yeah, I believe Concord was requesting just a minute in between these 2 games for one of their players who had to take a quick bathroom break. But honestly, Overcast, that gives us some time to discuss how this whole series has gone for both of these teams in a more in-depth way. Concord, when they have been successful, they have been calm, cool, and collected, and they have been avoiding those double commits. They looked to have some nerves in that first game where they lost to Ball State, where they were sending everybody, they were sending everyone all the time, and they just weren't able to actually keep control. But in these last 2 games, they've actually managed to keep that ball under their control, keep it close by, and avoid those double commits, and that's been their key to success.
100%. And then we've also been noticing that with that amount of control coming through Concord, it's stopping the aggression from Ball State, and this is something that they're kind of like dying for. They really need their aggressive nature back if they want to beat Concord here, because as proven through the first game, if they can be aggressive but also powerful enough on their offense, as many would say the best defense is a really good offense, they might be able to just keep this on Concord's half. But again, it's going to be a struggle, especially with Concord taking shots like this by Simus. But Variety, he is at least going to be there ready to take the save. Simus and Helix having a little bit of a screw up out there in the middle, but trying to get this around. All 3 of Concord are right up against the goalpost. Crispy going to try and take a 50 with this off with Jinwoo, but Helix getting flicked over by Jesse. Helix, he's going to need to clear this out into his corner to pass it out to Crispy, but Variety going to be up reading it from the ceiling. And now, just with Jinwoo coming in out of nowhere, this might be a shot attempt by Ball State, still working on it, but looks like it's not going to be any more with Crispy coming in with a beautiful musty. That was actually extremely powerful. But no, Jinwoo getting
Correct by Jinwoo!
I want to watch this again. Hold up.
This is beautiful. Recognizes that he has the last defender underneath him. That was Crispy. Beats him out, gets the quick redirect into the goal for a 1-0 lead from Ball State. But you know what, Overcast?
The best goal forward.
That's been the best. I think it was the best goal of the series so far. But, you know, you alluded to it, Overcast, but Ball State, they haven't exactly been capitalizing on the opportunities they've had to get the clears out of their own zone. You said it. Concord was triple committed there for a very long time, and Ball State just did not get the ball out. I don't know if they've been struggling to communicate on defense or with positioning or what have you, but something isn't quite working for their defensive rotations right now, and that's been allowing Concord to just push up all 3 without getting punished. This might be on the other side of the coin, though. Finally, Simus is able to get up and get the ball out. Crispy clears it across. Helix going to get another one, puts it in front of net, but sent away by Jesse. Starting to look a little bit better for Ball State, though. A double commit, though, leaves the net wide open, but a redirect out is going to clear it temporarily. Ball State needs to get control of this ball again, though. They're taking some passing shots. They just haven't been able to get anything consistent.
But right now, Helix is going to be coming in for a double attempt. Like, he's going to get a double doink off of the crossbar right here. But Ball State being able to squeeze this right by Helix, Simon's going to have to be the last person on defense, the lone defender. And now, using his team with Crispy, trying to get this out and around. Helix is going to come up. It's going to be another high shot. But right now, Concord's not going to be able to make any shooting attempts off of this. Jinwoo is going to be trying to take a shooting attempt of his own. Variety trying to get this out towards Jesse, but again, still, we're just going to be deadlocked out here in mid until somebody is able to take a shooting attempt. Crispy might be able to, but he has low boost, so it's not going to be as powerful. Jesse trying to get the control, but he just won't be able to. Crispy trying to get this over, but Jesse is going to be there ready to block him out. Simus needs to try and keep this out into Concord's possession. Crispy, he's going to drop it and hold it, but Helix trying to take this up. Will he be able to get this around? But he just cannot right now. And finally, we are broken out of the middle and also out of Ball State's side. And now we're going to be back onto Concord. But right now, Concord still seems to have control. I guess they just let it come back. But now, Helix trying to take this out, but Jinwoo is going to be there ready to receive. And Crispy...
Oh, sorry. I'm quite surprised.
As you were saying.
I'm quite surprised Ball State hasn't been taking advantage of when they do get the ball deep into the opponent's half. They just haven't really seemed to have the support fully there. I don't know if they're kind of questioning. Maybe they had a couple of accidental double or triple commits, and now they're questioning who's where. I don't know, but it just seems like the team cohesion is not where it typically is.
No, yeah, 100%, especially with how the
Oh,
first
there we go.
win, but it doesn't matter because Jesse is still gonna be there, scoring the second goal for Ball State. Now, 34 seconds left. Concord needs to make this push. They've been on Ball State's side most of the game. They just need to slot it in. You just need to find that one little opening and just squeeze it in.
Ordinarily, I'd say you want to get the most pressure you can, but honestly, if you can make it happen entirely on breakaways, that works too. Ball State with 2 quick goals is going to put this game most likely out of reach of Concord. So we are going to go to a 2-2 probably in this series. And, you know, it really feels like Ball State was the weaker team in this game, but they came out with the win. And I mean, that goes to show that counterattacks, if you play them right, can mean everything. If you can hold up a solid defense for long enough, I think Simus might have something to say about what I just said, but if you can hold up a solid defense for long enough, you're going to eventually find an out and be able to take advantage of it. So maybe Ball State's going to pivot to that strategy. Who knows?
Who knows indeed, but Simus coming in with a beautiful double attempt with those shitty-ass wheels. I don't know why he's using those, but it doesn't matter because even though he...
Oh, hey, if you think his card looks bad, you ought to see mine, but I pride myself on it. It's okay. I know it's bad, I make it bad, and you know what? That works for me. I'm using Emerald Pro wheels with I'm using Emerald Pro wheels with blue Phoenix wings on top, and it looks terrible, but it looks awesome at the same time.
I don't even want to look at it now, but yeah, it's like in every single game that I cast, I do criticize somebody's car one way or another. No, yeah, last series we had somebody with Kiwi wheels, and I couldn't take them seriously, even though they had some of the best shots I've ever seen. But it doesn't matter because we're still here with Ball State and Concord now, already with the series being tied up 2-2. Now we're gonna see who's gonna be breaking away for this one, and this will also determine possibly whose prediction might be right. So
yeah, honestly, I like I said, I do expect this to go to a Game 7. These teams are very evenly matched. They both have their own strengths, and I think one of their weaknesses on both sides is that they are not really capable, or should I say not capable, but not super efficient at taking advantage of mistakes on the other side. It seemed like both have been hesitant to really push when they see really good opportunities, particularly from the Ball State side, who have seemed significantly more passive than they typically do.
I was about to say, both teams are like equally as capable to do what they need to get done. It's just, it's a matter of...
Uh-oh, that might be a breakaway, though, on the other side! Shot from Jinwoo! What a save from Crispy!
And then Helix coming in with his own beautiful shot coming in. Already, we've had 2 beautiful shot attempts, but Crispy is going to try and take this back, trying to get another shot, but this might just be an open net for variety. But nope, Helix is going to be up there, and he's got something to say about it. Now, Simus trying to take this, getting a little fake, trying to get this around Jinwoo, trying to confuse all of Ball State, but everybody was just hovering there in front of the net, so it was just going to be a little bit too hard of a shot to take. Variety going to be getting this around 2 of the defenders, but Simus is going to be there, able to take this up. Will he be able to drop this or squeeze it in, and it just barely hits the crossbar. Helix now going to try and take a shooting opportunity for himself, getting out the double, and Simus sees it, and he scores on it. I don't care how bad of wheels that man is using, he's still just as good in the game.
Well, rock me mama like a wagon wheel. He is certainly putting it in the back of the goal. I don't know. I was starting with like a rhyming scheme there, and then I just couldn't finish it. So, you know what? Rock me Simus like a wagon wheel. I have no idea how to finish that. You know what? We'll revisit that next week. Why not?
I had to take a break for a second. That was really funny.
Well, I will cover for you then. Simus, the wagon wheel master, brings this one back up to Helix, who gets the clear from Ball State back out of midfield. Variety recovers it, trying to go for the 50. Did not expect the wait time to be so long from the side of Concord. Drops down in front from Simus. Variety handles it cleanly. Now Helix is going to look for a potential poacher's opportunity, flicks it over the top. Variety and Jinwoo both go for it. They are luckily able to clear it, so the double commit won't cause them too much problem. But Crispy is able to take it with full boost from the side, almost able to put it in off the crossbar. Jinwoo reads it and gets a brilliant save back out to his teammates. Jinwoo going to commit for it again. Variety almost out of boost, not able to get anything on it. And Ball State is scrambling on defense as they are trying to get it clear. Finally, they are able to get it out of the danger zone.
And with them just taking that massive of a clear, but it immediately getting retaliated back. Now it looks like Concord is going to be back onto the offense. Jinwoo is just trying to hold on to this, but Crispy is going to be trying to take this up, getting it over Variety, but Variety is just going to hover up there in the air, just holding on to it. Helix trying to take this around. He will be able to get a reset maybe off of this. He was trying to get into a plane B or a pogo. I don't know what he was trying to do, but either way, now Concord is just trying to remain in control, but now it's just looking like
mid-air
it's getting stuck out in
collision.
the mid. And now Jinwoo trying to take this out, zero boost, not really going to be able to make much of a play, but Crispy trying to take this over. He might be able to get a cross map air dribble, but Bump getting it off Simus, stopping the shot attempt for Concord. Now Variety going to be popping this over, but Jinwoo with very low boost, he's still going to be able to work with something. Helix trying to take advantage of this and maybe taking a redirect, but he just won't be able to find a Variety, getting this around two more defenders. Simus trying to get this up, but Jesse is going to be there ready to back. Crispy trying to get this off of the wall, but Jinwoo getting this out into mid, and Jesse is going to be able to score for Ball State, tying up this game.
I was just about to say, this is a brilliant opportunity for Ball State. They were able to bait out a double commit when they were all ready to make the push. It was almost certain that something was about to happen right there, right then. And Ball State is able to tie this game up with just over a minute remaining. They had control of the kickoff as well after that goal. Ooh, Simus trying to go for the bump onto Jinwoo, but he's not able to get it done. 1 minute left in this game. Tied up 1-1. Ball State now with an opportunity to send it right back downfield. Crispy can't get the touch. It's off the backboard, and it's a shot by Jinwoo off of the downfield pass to himself. Puts it over top of everybody. No one from Concord was expecting the long lob off the backboard, and Jinwoo capitalizes.
Oh, that was a major mistake by Crispy not being able to touch it off the ceiling, because I believe Helix, or actually no, Simus, he was the one trying to defend that. He was kind of hoping that it would get touched off the ceiling and then he was going to read off of that, but since it was just a straight shot opportunity, throwing that right in for Ball State. Now Ball State leading with 2. Helix trying to take another muster, trying to back out into mid. Crispy needs to take this shooting opportunity, but now with Concord having very little boost, they're going to have to do a full retreat and allow Ball State to take their shots, but Simus going to be there ready to block it with power. Crispy taking this up. Will he be able to fake this? It is going for a double. Getting it. He's just reading it off of Jinwoo, and now we're back to tied. 15 seconds left in this match. Will we be able to get another goal before, or are we going to be going into OT? These next 15 seconds are going to be able to decide this. Coming off with kickoff, being mostly Concord favored, but Jesse going to have to try and take this up. Last 10 seconds of the match. Will Variety be able to get this out, or is Crispy going to take another double opportunity?
There it is. 2 dunks in a row by Concord is going to allow them to take the lead with 4 seconds left. Crispy, just the dunk master, reads Jinwoo perfectly both times and is able to get the dunk both times. That's 2 for 2 for his tries for that. 4 seconds left. Is Ball State going to have anything? They fake the kickoff, but they fake themselves out. Helix puts it in, and that is going to put the game out of reach for Ball State here. So we're going to go to a match point in favor of Concord. And this is not exactly how I expected it to go, but you know what? Ball State, they're going to have to make some adjustments here. I don't think they can really rely on their breakaways anymore, to be honest.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. And originally I was going to say that they need a kickoff goal, but I guess the wrong team got the kickoff goal. And now Concord is coming out. Hopefully about to fix my prediction.
It looked like Ball State was about to try to go for a fake kickoff, but then they just faked themselves out and all of them backed off of it at the same time. And then no one was back in goal and they're just kind of like, oh, well, I don't know what to do here. So the
Well,
ball
we
just
already
ends up
lost anyway.
rolling in. Yep. It's like, we lost anyway. Why not? So
next game, start it up.
Yeah, the deciding factor here is going to be whether Ball State is able to make the adjustment to actually retain some offensive control. Concord has been pushing Ball State back into their own zone. And in these best of 7 games, especially when you are suffocated like that for so long, it really does take a mental toll on you. And you get tired very quickly, especially if you're having to frantically throw yourselves in front of goal, which might be why we're starting to see some mistakes on the side of Jinwoo, especially at everybody on Ball State, which is allowing them to get dunked by Concord pretty handily over and over again.
But that also comes into play with Concord getting last game 13 shots and 4 goals, while Ball State was only able to get 4. But they also had, like, I think 11 saves or something like that. So they were getting strangled out.
Opportunity here. Variety is going to lead off the scoring early.
But Variety instantly coming in with a solo attempt by Jinwoo, but Variety's going to dunk this over Helix, and then instantly Ball State's aggression is coming back. Now, first 30 seconds of the game as well, are we going to be able to see maybe another game coming out from Ball State, or is Concord going to be able to close this out? For my prediction's sakes, I hope Concord closes it out, but we're going to see how this works out.
Jinwoo on that last goal. Jinwoo say, you dunk me, no, I dunk you. Maybe another one off the backboard. Jesse finally able to come in and make it happen. Variety is going to get credit for the pass there, and what a beautiful pass it was. Jinwoo double committed for it. They sent everybody. They sent the team, and they were able to finally put it in the back of the net. A quick 2-goal lead here in favor of Ball State with under a minute played, under 45 seconds played. So the breakaways, the offensive pressure, they're starting to make it happen. Concord, the momentum's quickly shifting against them.
Already. Now, Crispy going to be trying to take this over, but he's not going to be able to get it past Jinwoo. Helix taking a nice little redirect onto the target, but Variety is going to be there ready to save. Helix now needs to fully back off with his team, but Crispy is going to be the lone defender trying to pass this up to somebody, but Simus is going to just hit it out to the opposite side of the field. Jesse not having any boost, not make any plays off of this, but Helix and Crispy trying to work together to get that ball out of mid. Crispy taking a beautiful clear. Helix looking for a double opportunity. He might be able to get this, but no, Variety is going to be able to stop him on this one. Jinwoo blocking Simus off of this, trying to clear this, getting it out of their corner, but Jesse, ooh, thank God he touched that, because otherwise that could have been very bad for Ball State. Now, they're trying to keep this up into the air, just trying to get this out of shooting opportunity, but Crispy, Simus, and Helix just looking for it. Just coming in by
this is a beautiful dunk.
That's a really hard angle.
Yeah, that's a rock me Simus like a wagon wheel off the backboard, if that's how you feel. Hey, mama, rock you.
Like I was about to say, I play a shit ton of ones, and angles is usually something that comes into play, but damn, that was actually like clippable in my opinion. And then
that's gonna be a goal quick too.
Helix putting that into the post, but his teammate is just ready to receive. Crispy was stealing the boost, and just a nice slot into the net, tying the game up. Now, 2 minutes, 51 seconds left. Let's see how the next part goes.
Yeah, quick response by Concord. That was absolutely necessary before it got too deep into this game, and it started to get away from them. As we've seen, Concord, when the nerves start going and they get a little bit antsy, they can start making mistakes pretty quickly, so they need to avoid getting into those deep holes. Good thing they were able to there. That keeps them in this game. And as we go into halftime, this starts to look like the matchup that we were expecting from the very beginning, with both of these teams playing at peak efficiency. Ball State starting to take some more chances, Concord too. And Concord, they just want to put this game away. All they need is 1 or 2 more. Goals have been kind of at a premium so far this series, as both teams are I kind of feel like they're struggling on defense, but kind of not. They're actually able to keep the ball out for most of the time. But the problem is opportunities like this. Ball State has not been able to handle that backboard defense very well. They need to keep the ball under control up there a little bit more. Fortunately, if they can just keep on offense like this, they might not have to worry about it. Unfortunately, they are able. Concord is able to get it away. Simus goes for the dunk. Back up by Alterjin Wu. That's an own goal from Jesse. I don't think Helix was expecting that one at all. Was this an actual own goal, or was he just not able to keep a hold of it? Oh, that is an own goal by Jesse. Oh no, that one might hurt them bad too. Minute 39 remaining. Now Ball State finds themselves down by 1 and facing elimination.
I was about to say, just judging by how Helix was, he was also just as confused. He was just like, what the heck just happened, with a failed just backflip attempt trying to get that out. But hey, Concord will take it, I know that. So now that's going to be bringing Concord back out into the lead, but Jinwoo trying to take this out, but Jesse and Variety might be able to squeeze it in, but Helix getting a very, very crucial save there. Jinwoo trying to get this back out,
oh,
but the pinch out and the beautiful sound from the crossbar queen. Oh, I just love to hear that. But
if you're Ball State, you've got to be feeling real bad. You had 2 brilliant opportunities that just did not end up going your way. Not necessarily through any fault of your own, but they just didn't happen. And now they've got to break out of their own side, and quick. They're down by 1. There's not much time left to go in this series. Jesse's got to keep control of this ball, got to get a good opportunity, but it's blocked away by Simus. Desperation coming in now for Ball State, but they are able to clear the net, and Variety takes the shot, set up by Jinwoo perfectly, baits out 2 of the defenders. What a dunk by Jinwoo. Perfect anticipation on that 50.
Now we're going to the last 30 seconds of this match. Are any of these teams going to be able to score within this, or is the OT going to be the deciding factor? Already Crispy is trying to chase for a little bit of a demo, but Simon's trying to pass this out, trying to get this over towards Helix, but they're not going to be able to make anything work from this. Crispy going to have to try and make something work, not getting the touch that he wanted, but Helix trying to come in.
It's so dangerous for Ball State!
You're a wizard, Simon's now slotting that in. With 13 seconds left, the unlucky number. Is this going to be unlucky for Ball State, or is this going to be unlucky for Concord? We're about to find out in this next few moments.
That setup by Helix might be the play of the series if this ends up going their way. That was a beautiful poacher's opportunity. He was just sitting in front of net, waiting for that ball to come to him. A breakaway by Ball State. This might be the last opportunity to tie this up, though. It's going to go to 0. Is the ball going to hit the ground? Crispy tries to get it away, but he just has to put it out of reach of Ball State now. Crispy sends it across. Jinwoo keeps a hold of it. Variety's able to keep it in the air. Back across by Helix. Jesse tries to get a hold of it, but it will hit the ground. And Concord Esports takes the win 4-2. And they will be moving on in this single elimination playoff bracket. Ball State just not able to keep up with it. After that first game, it just seemed like they weren't able to get the ball out of their own defensive zone.
And then that solidifies my prediction for Concord winning 4-2. I knew that they would be able to work together and come back for that. But they're now also knocking out Ball State, a very tough competitor. Now, with Concord, that was awesome that they finally came back. They started working together as a team. The consistency came through, and look where that got them. And look, it got them further into ECAC and further in for more games.
Yeah, Concord, brilliant.
That was a great match. That was a great series.
Yeah, that was a really great series from both teams. Concord, it looked like they had some nerves up front that kind of led to them losing that first game. But in the end, they were able to make the adjustments necessary to come back. Ball State, it just kind of looked like they weren't taking advantage of the mistakes that Concord did make when they had the opportunity to. And that, I'd say, is probably what kneecapped them the most of all, is that Concord, it's not that they played perfectly. It's that they were able to cover off just enough. And Ball State just wasn't. It kind of looked like they didn't quite have the confidence to push up and take advantage when they could.
No, yeah, 100%. But either way, it's going to solidify it for Concord, allowing them to move on. But overall, I enjoyed that series. So now, for anybody else that is still watching, thank you guys so much for tuning into ECAC to watch this beautiful series. My name is Overcast, and this has been one of my best friends and one of my favorite people to cast with, Keegan. And we will catch all of you guys next time. Also, quick thank you to Damien for being our server for this match, setting it up. Gracias. But yeah,
Yeah.
we hope everybody has an amazing night, and we will catch you all later.